Hello, Nigeria. It is such a big pleasure to be behind the driving seat of the safety train on this beautiful rainless Tuesday. Abi, I hope you did not see rain because we've had excess of rain and today we had some respite, so I hope you've enjoyed the lovely weather. My name remains Fayo Williams, your safety Amazon, and I am not alone. As usual, I have a guest in the studio. So what's the topic this beautiful Tuesday? We will be talking about flood preparedness and emergency planning. Should in case that last Wednesday repeat itself new, so that you people can know what to do in case that kind of Ishele again. I don't know how to explain it in English, but we know it was an Ishele. It was a big incident, and some of us were very unprepared. So with me today, I have someone who's a consummate professional with key specialization in emergency disaster planning management, disaster resilience leadership, disaster risk management, is OPP, multi-hazard incident management, environmental production, as well as management in occupational health and safety. He's presently the director or head Environmental Services Consultancy Unit of the Lagos State Ministry of Environment and Water Resources. Lagos, if I were to finish the profile of this gentleman, you will be out of breath, you'll be panting, say, where is he? Can we take him to presidency? But Lagos, just know that I have with me Mr. Femi Kennedy Giwa.
Well, thank you so much, Sister Fayo Williams. I am overwhelmed and honestly I'm humbled by this introduction. Thank you for bringing me on this platform.
You're very
Lagosians.
You are very welcome. And we don't like to just talk grammar alone. We want you to greet people in your lingua franca. So we don't know if you are from Lagos, you are from the Mimi Pin stock. We want to know Mimi Pin, So if you are not, wherever you are from, please salute your people in your native language.
Lágbára Ọlọ́run gbogbo wa àjọ sọ̀pọ̀ láti jẹ́ kí ìlú Èkó kó dá ṣẹ́gun.
Oh, beautiful. That is a true Lagosian. So, sir, let us take this topic right from the top, because floods are one of the most common and devastating natural disasters. Lagosian Sada, we used to watch it on TV. How, floods are ravaging some places, but it seems as if the two things took a bit of a turn on Wednesday and we had the water in droves. So what are the primary causes of floods in our region and how can we address them? Because it's not a phenomenon we want to happen again. So how can we address the issue of flood? What role does even the layman, the Lagosian have to play in all of this?
Well, thank you so much, Sister Fayo. Like I say, we are all partners in progress. It takes two to tango. Government will continue to do his best, and honestly, we need to give it to the administration of Mr. Governor, Mr. Babajide Olusola Sanwo-Olu, and indeed the Honorable Commissioner for the Ministry of Environment and Water Resources, who honestly has been there on the spot working assiduously to ensure that we have a safer and a cleaner Lagos, and a Lagos that is devoid of flood. One thing we need to appreciate is the fact that Lagos State is an aquatic ecosystem. It's a coastal ecosystem. If you look at our landmass, it's about 3,755 square kilometers. And of this particular portion, we'll now begin to look at the percentage, of course, that is that is habitable, And then we'll look also at our terrain. It's a low-lying terrain, sometimes 10% below the sea level, sometimes even higher than that. And then look at the population, and then look at the interaction between the man and man-environment factor. And some of these interaction can be very entropic or disorderly. And we have what to call migration from other states, because
every day people are coming in.
Yes, because it's a state of aquatic splendor, a state of excellence that provides incentives that are lacking elsewhere. Then you will begin to look at it as much as it's a space of opportunity, become more a space of risk because of this interaction. Having said that, before I go into the primary causes of flooding, we need to understand what flooding is. What is flood? Now, when we talk about flood, we talk about the movement of water, into a large expanse of, dry land, or when a dry land is actually submerged by, large volume of water, making that place sometimes inhabitable with, a lot of impacts, and that's what flooding. And of course, we have different kind of flood. We have what we call the flash flood. We have the coastal flood. We have the river flood. We have the pluvial flood, and then we have. These are just different kinds, but the one that sometimes, we have the urban flood too. But the one that we more often or not experience is what we call the flash flood, which is, fast streams of water, storm water, inundating land, comes unexpectedly.
Break it down.
Yes.
But people don't know inundated so it used to overflow,
and then cover a large or sometimes small portion of land. And when it comes with so much speed and devastating effect. And you find out that whatever it's along its corridor, it pulls and it moves like cars, woods and objects. But within 6 hours, it recedes. It doesn't like more than 6 hours.
That's flash flood.
Yes.
Within 6 hours, it should recede.
Yes.
I was once caught in Ogunpa. Omiyale Agbaragba flood. It was very, very, very serious. And it looks as if the duration of the rainfall, does this have a role to play? Because I understand on Wednesday that the rain has started since about 2 a.m. So, can you tell us what's the impact of the duration of the rainfall or the flooding?
We all should come to that realization that climate change has become a reality. And the Nigerian Meteorological Agency did come up with its forecast. Likewise, the Nigerian Hydrological Services, that we have a large number of precipitation, which is rainfall, and a lot of, there will be large inundation, which means a lot of areas will be covered by water. So, and of course, it has a role to play, because when you have torrential river over a period of time, and then you're looking at the state, the structure of the state,
it's a small state,
flat surface, and then low-lying terrain.
It's a very small state.
But of course, we need to give it to ministry, department, and agencies in Lagos State. Because as I speak to you, we have over 169 channels, primary channels. I'm talking about lagoons, canals, and the rest of them. So, and these are receptacles that are able to receive this large volume of water. But like I said, it takes two to tango.
So the role of the common man, because I want the Yankee Bravo and everybody in that bus now to be listening. What has been your role in either causing this flood or making things better? So, Mr. Femi Kennedy Giwa, let us know, what is the role of the average Lagosian in helping to prevent, accumulation of water and flooding?
Yes, the role of an average Lagosian is to ensure that they are partners in progress with government, to ensure that they do not embark on sustainable activities that will impact on the environment. I want to give you a good example. For example, we find out that people build houses without drainage. Sometimes they build houses and then along what we call the drainage channel right of way. Sometimes we have people building houses without approved plan and then working against the building codes of the state, and then improper waste disposal. Waste are disposed indiscriminately, especially solid waste. Sometimes we have constructions of building along floodplain zones, and these are areas that over time will continue to have floods. Then, of course, we begin to talk about things like people carrying out unsustainable activity that will continue to increase the number of carbon in the atmosphere. For example, burning of fossil fuel, and that's why you see that the state government is talking about sustainable transportation. We talk about the blue and red line.
That's
and
true.
Many of them, so that we now begin to look at the activities that we do, because sometimes these are self-inflicted wounds.
But sir, don't you think we can also encourage the government agencies to monitor more? Because if Lagosians have decided not to borrow now, even the ministry, they have to go out more so that before those houses on these floodplains and rain channel and drainage channels are built, so that they can make sure they intervene? Is it possible to also call for that?
Well, like I would say, we are all responsible citizens. Our country, we are all Lagosians, either by the fact that we are staying in Lagos or by the fact that we are from Lagos.
From Lagos, yeah.
You know? And the truth is, you see that in the recent time, you see how proactive the Commissioner for the Environment, Barrister Wahab, has been going about most of enforcing. You know, we're about to remove illegal structures that so as to protect the right of way of most of these channels. And you see some certain areas that are unnecessarily flooded because of the fact that the channelizations of this canal becomes problem. And then one of the biggest challenges, see people begin to personalize this thing, but we need to begin to play our role. We need that when we are constructing our building, part of our plan must be for us to make provisions of quarters
for drainage.
Okay. So that at the end of the day, when we begin to do this, we want to manage our waste. Waste must be managed, must be patronize the PSP.
Exactly.
And do our bit.
All right. So please hold your thoughts. We are going for a traffic update.
All right, just you tuned to Lagos Traffic Radio at 96.1 FM. Like I said earlier, Ikorodu Road is still looking very good. If you're coming in from Odoyalaro end, heading inward, Ojota interchange. Likewise, the length and breadth of Kudrat Abiola Way, inward Awolowo Way to link Coca-Cola.
Thank you very much for staying tuned on Safety Train. Don't touch that dial, because what we're discussing today may help you to navigate the roads in times of flood. So I have been speaking with Mr. Femi Giwa, who is a specialist when it comes to disaster management, and he has told us he's defined the flood as movement of water into a large expanse of land. He has told us some of the primary causes which include blockage of the rain channels, building, construction on places that we should not construct on. And we have also sent a message even to government that please help us to do wole more, help us to do inspections, so that even while these constructions are going on, you can stop them, you can arrest them, so that we don't have people begging and begging when the whole house has been built. And that has been an issue, but I believe that's a conversation another day. So if you would like to call in, you can dial 0809-9120-777. You can also send a WhatsApp message to that number. In the alternative, you can dial 0915-3877-127. So you can join in this conversation. Now, Mr. Giwa, let us look at public awareness campaigns. What is in place to educate citizens about flood risks? Because I see some people, they remove their clothes, put it on their head, and they are attempting to cross those channels, those rivers of water on the road, which to me looks like suicide mission. So what exactly do you have in place in terms of public awareness, letting our people know that they will not die now if they are late? Can they just even stay somewhere while the rains are bit? What do you have in place?
Thank you so much, Sister Fayo. And I need to be honest with you that the administration of Mr. Governor, Mr. Babajide Olusola, has made it mandatory for all ministries, department, and agency to put in place what we call public advocacy, education and sensitization program. And I can assure you that every ministry, department, and agency in the Lagos State government, including the Ministry of Information, all have advocacy and sensitization program. But coming down home, at the level of the Ministry of Environment and Water Resources, we have what we call the Community Development Cooperation Engagement, whereby the community development associations,
the CDAs,
yes, in almost in the 57 local government and local council engaged town hall meetings on how we can actually prevent and mitigate flood. and as I speak to it, it's ongoing.
Okay.
We have what we do what we call regular market advocacy, because you can begin to imagine the quantum of waste that comes
generated from the market.
And I'll tell you the truth that even the airology has been very helpful, and the market leaders working hand in hand to ensure that they patronize PSP modalities and strategies to ensure that waste are not just hit around the corners, so that we don't begin to experience public health challenges. We have several radio jingles. We also have, in fact, at the level of
bring your jingle here.
Yes. So even for the Department of Drainage in the ministry, for every for specific drainage projects they embark, they do what to call engagement with at all the. Then at the level of environmental education, we have what we call the education department in the Ministry of Environment and Water Resources, and they have embarked over the years on several programs such as environmental attitudinal change among the youth, and school pupils. We've also had things like environmental management skill. Equipping them with environmental management skills, specifically things like how do we carry out, things like circular economy.
Yes.
We talk about how do we
reuse.
Yes.
Recycle.
Thank you very much. Reuse, recycle, and then we talk about things like upcycling and then recycling. How do we do that? Then, of course, disaster management skill. During emergencies, flood-related emergency, what do you do? What's the first thing you do? And we talk about the provision of the emergency toll-free line, especially when you find out that you're in danger, you have to call for help.
And let's remind people that is 112 or 767. All right.
So these are numbers that you need to call during emergency, and then beyond that, it's. I can continue to talk about what the state is doing, but like I said, it takes two to tango.
Let me just chip in something there. With all this public advocacy and sensitization, I am not seeing enough of a change in the attitude of the Lagosian, especially the elites. So I still see them, with these styrofoam packs, with these PET bottles, still throwing things out of their window. So a lot of people are in transit right now. They're driving, they're probably listening. Can you send a word out to those who have refused to change their attitude when it comes to indiscriminate waste disposal?
Like I would say, the environment remains the only place, the Lagos environment remains the only place where you and I can thrive well. There are a lot of incentive that the ecosystem itself provides for us. But it behoves on you and I to ensure that we become responsible ambassadors of this environment. And as such, we should continue to imbibe in attitude that will bring, that will impact positively, and that will help us such that help us to such an extent that as much as we enjoy this environment, we'll be thinking about sustainable development. According to the World Commission on Environment and Development, says sustainable development is development that meets the need of the present generation without jeopardizing the ability of the future generation to meet their own needs. So we need to think about our future generation. We need to continue to think that this is our own Lagos. We have a sense of ownership.
I'm in it. Now, just take this quick question before we go for the last traffic update. What technologies are being used to improve flood prediction? Because you told us hydrological services did this, NIMET did that. But my question is, this research that they're doing, does it kind of drill down into something like an early warning system, even for citizens, that, before I leave home today, I would have heard it maybe on a 7 o'clock news or 6 o'clock news that, there's going to be heavy rainfall around so and so. Maybe if what you are doing is not urgent, I can put it off. Is there any way to have a link between this technology, this research, and the common man getting to know more about where they should go or should not go, so that they don't just get caught by surprise with these floods?
Thank you so much, Sister Fayo. There is a link between these instruments that are used for prediction, and most of the directory. You know, sometimes we call it flood directory and the information that forecast that we get. For example, in Lagos State, we are able to call 4 gauge stations.
4 gauge stations.
Yes, and what these gauge stations, what they are used for systematic observation of water level, and then this level of precipitation, and then the level of discharges when you have rainfall. And these gauges, you know, have been placed in strategic areas. In Lagos, we have about 4 of them. There's one in Faloma Ikoyi. We have one in GRA, Sherry North. We have one in Kara, under the bridge Kara. We also have one in Magedu, in Ikorodu. And what they do is that, you see, they give us, as we take this reading over time, we can now begin to predict, you know, the level of precipitation or rainfall, which of course in turn helps us, you know, to give advisory.
Yes,
then we also have weather stations, and most of these weather stations, what they help us to do is to measure atmospheric conditions. Such as light, temperature, relative humidity, rain, and the rest of them.
The citizens must hear more. Let us hear more about where the floods may catch us unawares. So while you hold your thoughts, let's just take the last update and then we round up on the program. Thank you.
All right, just you tuned to Lagos Traffic Radio 96.1 FM. Report from Okiodo Axis reaching us at this time says it's appreciable within charity intersection. In and out of social club is very good. Abuli Egba Mobile is busy but moving steadily, and this is occasioned by Fayo queue coupled with pedestrian crossing. Ascending and descending the Jubilee Bridge is clear. Further movement down to Ajegun, and likewise the return journey is encouraging.
Thank you very much for staying tuned on Safety Train. Thank you, Taiwo, for that final update. And as we conclude on the program today, we've heard so much, and listeners have not bothered to ask any question. So if you enter Koto, not be me, because I already told you that I'm talking about flood preparedness and nobody has done any calling. I hope you are aware of all the information that those 4 gauge stations are reeling out. I hope you are listening to weather reports before una leave house. Make una listen to weather reports. I would like to thank Dr. Tajuddin Gaji, the Permanent Secretary of the Environment and Water Resources, for facilitating the attendance of Mr. Femi Kennedy Giwa today. And as a parting shot, we would like you to provide examples of successful international partnerships or initiatives that have improved flood resilience in our country, because you've always said it that it takes 2 to tango. It's all about a partnership. It's for all of us to play our part. So give us some, exciting examples of international partnerships and initiatives that have helped, to mitigate the situation, make things better.
Thank you so much, Sister Fayo. Once again, let me quickly use this medium to thank Dr. Tajuddin Gaji, our indefatigable and very hardworking Permanent Secretary, Ministry of Environment and Water Resources, for the good job he's been doing, supporting the Honorable Commissioner, Ministry of Environment, Barrister Wahab, in ensuring we have a safer and a cleaner Lagos. Having said that, there are a couple of partnerships now. Let me start from the level of the state. Just very recently, there is a series of collaborations and partnership between the Ministry of Environment and Water Resources. They've actually signed what we call a letter of intent to bridge the loop BV, Netherlands, and the Harvest Waste Netherlands on issues of, sustainable waste management and then conversion most of our waste that should lead the street to wealth.
Okay, waste to wealth program.
Yeah, so coming up. So that is on the pipeline.
Good.
At the international level, there's what is called the multi-scale flooding monitoring and assessment service for West Africa, co-sponsored by both the African Union and European Union. And then 5 countries are beneficiary of this program: Nigeria, Ghana, Benin, Ivory Coast, and Burkina Faso. And what do they intend to achieve to enhance the capacity and efficiency of these countries to be able to conduct flood monitoring and flood assessment through regular updating of regional flood event database?
Beautiful. And on that powerful note of all the international partnerships and the expectation that very soon in Lagos State we will be converting waste to wealth, I would like to thank Mr. Femi Kennedy Giwa. I'm calling you doctor because it's prophetic. I think that's the next next assignment for you now. It's all what you know. And once again, the Honorable PS Dr. Tajuddin Gaji for facilitating his coming onto the program. So it's a wrap today, ladies and gentlemen. My name remains Fayo Williams, and this program is brought to you with the support of Rely Supply Limited. We're into the refills and audit of first aid boxes. We also offer first aid training. To promote your brand on radio or to get in touch with us for any of these services, you can dial 0803 4030 366. I'm available across social media at Fayo Williams is my handle. Till I come your way again next week, it is via con Dios, which means go with God.
Think of great music. Think of transportation experts.